predicted 500 hospitalizations. As we're gradually moving back to opening schools and businesses and, of course, our in-person interactions, I want to remind you, this is all time with cold and flu season getting going. Staying hydrated is key to helping your body deal with the added stress and with the upcoming flu season. My regular fans have heard me talk about a product called Hydrolyte for a long time now. It's an amazing rapid rehydration drink. It's a mix that, well, we're obsessed with here. I'm excited to announce they've just released Hydrolyte Plus Immunity, just in time for cold and flu season. Hydrolyte Plus Immunity starts with their fast-absorbing electrolytes and adds a host of immune-boosting ingredients. Each single-serve, easy-pour drink mix contains 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and 300 milligrams of elderberry extract, creates what is hopefully immune-boosting formula that's high in antioxidants and zinc. Combining this with Hydrolyte's 7 key electrolytes, it's a fantastic way to stay proactive and properly hydrated. Hydrolyte Plus Immunity comes in convenient, easy-to-pour powder sticks that rapidly dissolve in water and make a great tasting drink that has 75% less sugar than your typical sports drink. It uses all natural flavors, and it is gluten-free, dairy-free, caffeine-free, non-GMO, and it is vegan. And you can find Hydrolyte Plus by visiting hydrolyte.com/Dr. Drew. Again, that's HYDRALYTE.com/DRDRW. And be sure to use our code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout for a special discount.
Hey, everyone. It's a dose of Dr. Drew.
It is indeed a very special dose. We got a lot going on. It's our first day back in our studio. Thank you all for being patient with us across the last week. Let me bring in my first guest. Is the guest?
Oh, wait, hold on a second.
What?
Can you explain what's going on here really quick?
So what's going on is our dogs are barking in the background as soon as we go to air. That's
our
what
children.
They do. Number one, we have a couple of special guests. Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing will be dropping in here in just a second. Mike Carano is joining a chat of our locals.com community we welcome them into this particular stream today. There they are. And you see Mike with the proscenium curtain behind him there. He's either in a house of ill repute or he's in his home theater. I'm not sure which. But he'll be with us in just a second. Mike, which is it? Just let's let you jump forward here, Mike.
I think it's amazing that Josh is from $1 Million.
Hold on.
I had to shut him up for a second.
Go ahead.
I think it's interesting that Josh is from $1 Million Listings when I just got an urgent notice from Zillow that the apartment next door, the condo next door to me was reduced. The 2-bedroom condo next door was reduced to $749,000.
A bargain in California by California standards. so let's bring in the great Josh Flagg. Josh, welcome.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Josh. So we got a lot to talk about. We've got to know our friend Josh. You saw him Wednesday on this stream. We were all in Mexico together in a nice COVID bubble in this resort that we all went to, COVID negative, and returned COVID negative, thank God.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Susan has some doubts. But Josh, you went on from Mexico to Alabama. Tell everyone about that.
So Dr. Drew and myself and Susan and Heather McDonald and a bunch of people were in Mexico. We got a house down there together. I left it early, not by choice, but unfortunately I had to go to Alabama, where I am sitting right now in a, what is this place called? Felix's Crab Shack.
Yum.
And it's cheap and it's great. We are having sandwiches. We are here on the Gulf. Show them where we are. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, it's pretty.
Isn't pretty. Josh, isn't the Gulf expecting a hurricane? Are you guys in any way in line with that?
We're experiencing now, so I'm gonna take the hurricane.
Fair enough. And you're there. You haven't told them why yet.
So, why am I here? So, I figure when you buy a dog, you shouldn't just order it, and never see the dog. Like, you have to check it out, make sure it's cool, make sure you like it. You're gonna live with it for 15 years, hopefully. Exactly. So I came here to dog.
It's interesting. I'm looking at the restream here, the chat room. A lot of our chatters are actually you're going to be able to see them in just a second. But a lot of comment about you looking like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. Wendy says yes. Wendy is seeing.
Hi,
it.
Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
She's got her
Hi.
mask on.
There she is. Put it over your nose if you're going to wear it. So, Josh, I just wanted to spend a couple minutes with you. Did you have a good trip with us?
I have to say, we had the most fun time, and the key to having a fun time on a vacation is the group. It doesn't matter how fabulous the house or how fabulous the location is. If you're with a shitty group or like sober people, it's just never fun.
But Josh, what was interesting to me is I brought some books. Like I'm gonna interview this guy on my podcast. I interview scientists and things on my podcast. And
What's a vacation?
what's that, Wendy?
She said, "What's a vacation?"
Oh yeah, what's a vacation? That was Christine, I bet. But I had bought these books down. I was planning to read, but it was like we were so starved for social engagement that we all were like talking all day long and all night long and didn't let up.
Yeah,
I didn't read a word the entire
but
time.
it was
I
a good
down
combo.
there.
Like there was no
But
drama.
that's good.
Yeah, it was really
It is
calm.
good. It is good. It was an interesting group. I would not have predicted that the group was as so put together so well by
Cohesive.
Heather. She did a great job.
Strangely enough.
But do you agree with me, Josh, on that?
I think Heather McDonald is a great curator of people for vacations.
Yeah, she's hired. It was nice thing. We went to the Blue Desert Cabo.com resort. They set up a house. We had we were at Casa Edwards. It's a beautiful property. It's nice to bring people that don't have COVID-19 and not be in a hotel setting and have the pool to yourself and no kids running around, that kind of thing. But it was really relaxing. The service was amazing, and we all had a phenomenal time. So I mean, it's hard. I feel guilty having a phenomenal time in this climate, but
I had a strange guilt. I don't know. I don't think Josh felt guilty.
You guys have no guilt about bragging about your vacation?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
There's Mike.
Thank you.
I
Mike.
honestly, I did, but I didn't, But they were like, you have to promote it because, we're giving you a discount.
Hold on. But I said I had a great time, except for like the 3 hours at dinner I was asleep.
Yeah. And when you threw your phone overboard.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah, when I lost my burner phone. Now I have a burner phone from Dr. Pinsky.
Yeah, he has my burner phone. So
Susan kicked into full mom gear. And Josh, you became one of our children instantly, and she took care of you, and you're still using that same phone.
He's in
We were on a full-blown Zoom call with Rick Caruso, and then maybe Lisa Vanderpump, and the phone went in the ocean.
That's exactly right. Lisa was wanting us to promote some stuff for her. She's training, I want to mention this, she's training rescue dogs to be service dogs for veterans with PTSD. Vanderpumps are doing that. And then Josh, his friend Rick Caruso, we're going to get behind him for mayor in Los Angeles. And then Josh just casually threw his phone overboard. And there was that.
So then I had these people in my phone. So I was texting his assistant and all these people and saying, I'm sorry, Josh won't be speaking to you anytime soon because he just threw his phone. And Josh didn't remember that. So then he fell asleep at dinner. But it was fine. I was happy to be there for you. It was actually fine. I mean,
So
whatever.
Josh, where are you going from here?
What?
Where are you going from here? From Alabama.
From here? So
from Alabama.
We're leaving Mobile, and we're going to Birmingham. And from Birmingham, we are going to the most incredible hotel. We're going to Blackberry, Tennessee.
Sorry.
It's like the most incredible hotel in the world.
Where is it exactly?
Amazing.
Say it again. Where is it, Josh?
It's in the middle of Tennessee, and it's like a famous resort that you go visit with a cheesemonger, and I don't even know what that is, and you play pigeon shooting, and you have wine tasting. It's like Napa Valley on steroids. And then from there we go to Nashville, and then I've always wanted to see Graceland, so I'm in this.
I love Nashville.
And so everybody wishes they were living Josh Flagg's life. And until then, we will just watch it. We'll be able to see all this on Extra. Is that true?
Actually, that's funny you say that. Extra is coming. They're going to do, we're going to do, I believe, Blackberry Farms, but if not, we're going to do Nashville, this restaurant. We're going to do we're starting to do little tastes of really good restaurants and hotels and following them. So
how nice. How nice. I'm
All
trying
right,
to
guys,
think
I have
of
a
I got
question.
lost.
Before we let
how does the dog play into this?
The dog, no. So, I'm so sorry. The dog is not allowed to come home with me. The dog, the trainer has told me that he's only allowed to fly first class with an accompaniment on a plane. So the dog is flying on his own with a person for the $3,000 a ticket.
Oh my God.
Don't ask. Nobody don't ask any more questions beyond that.
Wendy wants to be your dog, so she's gonna be. She'll take the training and.
I want to be a dog. I usually fly stoic.
Hey, real quick before we let Josh go, I just heard something about VA dogs being trained for people with PTSD. What's all that?
This is Lisa Vanderpump's thing for veterans. It's essentially, when the basic phenomenon of PTSD is emotional dysregulation, and dogs can be trained to come and help soothe when people are escalating. It's a pretty simple thing. And it turns out when we treat PTSD or you treat any dysregulated emotion, the parts of the brains that we're using, like if I'm treating somebody, I'm trying to use my central nervous system to regulate another person's, not all that different than the dogs in terms of what part of the brain I'm using. So dogs can be quite effective for people in the short term and sort of relieving some misery. And so
why is training necessary?
I wonder the same thing myself, but I'm guess it has something to do with the dog understanding when somebody's in that state. So the dog has a rather than retreating, the dog, it comes in, much like you would teach a dog when somebody's having a seizure or about to have a seizure, that sort of thing.
Dogs are very
you have to train the dogs to not light explosives.
Correct. That too, Mike. That too. That's important.
Not to fly their chopper around the backyard or blow up things.
Exactly.
So the reason why I'm asking though is because I live in a veteran community, and there are a lot of dogs and stuff like that going on around here. And I try to do as much outreach as I possibly can with the vets. If I can hook these guys up with trained dogs, that would be awesome.
Just look up Lisa Vanderpump PTSD veterans. I think it'll come right up. I think she's mostly I don't think she actually does the organization. She raises money for it. So
yeah.
I see.
But we'll have her on our podcast soon. I've been trying to for a while, and I know Josh is going to hook that up for me.
Yeah, to that point, Josh, I'm hearing talk of a big dinner with a reunion at Lisa's. So let's count on something like that, or at your place. Did you set a date for that yet?
Yes, actually, my assistant sent you December 11th.
Yeah.
The 11th. December 11th. I'm putting on my calendar
well,
right now.
I think we were supposed to be back. You're not going to be in New York that?
No, I'm not.
Right? Or did you just change your mind? Might be doing
no, but I told you we're going to have at Adrian Malouf's house. We're doing her, myself, and Natalie Bloomingdale. We're doing a joint Christmas party, and I have my pick. They have theirs, and we're going to have a fun little party, a COVID-friendly party
on the 11th.
No, that's just dinner with us.
Okay.
Are you going to get tested? I'm going to get tested this week. I think I'm going to go get tested.
I have to get tested once a week because when we film for Bravo, the requirements are that you're filmed. Actually, when I come back, I have to quarantine for 10 days.
But do they pay for it, or do you have to pay for it?
Actually, I don't have to pay for it. And the good thing is that since they're, what are they, like $100 every time? So anytime that they come over, I just send everyone in the family. I say, just test this person, test that, test the gardener, test the woman. I'm not paying for it.
Okay, can you send your organization over to my house? $100.
Absolutely. If you just come 9:30 every Monday morning, come on over.
Okay.
Take that little thing right up to your brain.
Now I'm going to go to urgent care and just do it.
All right, Josh, you have a call.
Bye, guys.
All right, man. Talk to you when we get back. So I've got all kinds of interesting COVID news I want to review, and then let's bring. Yeah, there's everybody. I apologize.
It's so cool. We have a lot of people here.
So
let me get everybody's
we
face
have
in there.
some newcomers. I have to look over here to see the chat panel here. We've got a lot of people on the panel. Some of you I know. Some of you are new. Susan, how do you get the names up again?
There we go.
Haley, Keith, Sarah. Lydia, some of you are new. Of course,
Shannon,
Monica's there.
The one with the little sky.
Hi,
the
Sarah.
blue sky. Oh, wait, there's a Shane in there. He's coming in. Hold on. I guess we can have like 40 people here.
Well, I'm not sure we want 40, but I'm just saying hi
gonna
to the
see until it
newcomers.
blows up.
Anthony Brown is in the house. Hi, buddy. Welcome back. Hey, man.
Hi, Anthony.
George. These are all some of the names we're familiar with. Some are newcomers. We appreciate it. We welcome you guys. So let me go over some of the good news and bad news. Bad news is not going to be news. We're in a surge. Everyone knows that, right? The surge is rather extraordinary, and the scary part about the surge is we don't know how bad it's going to get, right? I mean, we think it's bad now, but only the virus knows how bad it's going to get. Now, within that, there's right now some good news. There's a publication that came out like literally this minute. Let me get it. Saying COVID, this is a April study. This is from since April. Since April. This is Reuters Health information. COVID-19 fatality rate down 30% since April. So the fatality rate, in spite of hospitalization going up, the fatality rate is down. And you got to remember the hospitalization rate, while it's higher than it has ever been, it's not that much higher than it's ever been, given the fact that the outbreak is 3 or 4 times higher than it's ever been. And doctors are encouraging people into the hospital as opposed to discouraging. I think I brought this up before on this thread, but back, say in April, again, doctors like stay home, wait till your oxygen saturation drops, or, you have some complications, then we'll bring you in the hospital. We don't want to put you on a ventilator. We don't expose other people to your illness. Stay home. Now it's come in and get the Regeneron and the convalescent plasma. Come on in. So there's a completely different behavioral profile of how we're approaching these patients. And in spite of that, the hospitalization rate is the same as it was when we had literally 20% of the cases that we have now. So it's kind of interesting. California in particular actually has a continually falling death rate in spite of a rising hospitalization rate. And the hospitalization rate is barely rising, but that can be a lagging indicator. And if you look at the overall situation for the country, the death rate, although it's a number we'd hate to see, it is sort of flat. It's sort of flat, especially compared to, again, the previous outbreaks, which, again, only the virus knows if it's going to stay this way or not. It might get a lot worse. That's the scary part about now. The other good news, though, is Moderna came out today with a vaccine, 95% efficacy. Ridiculous. Dr. Fauci's on the record saying repeatedly that if it were 70%, he would be ecstatic. They studied 25,600 people. And even in the 5 people that got COVID in the vaccine-treated group, the COVID was very mild in those cases. So this was a proof of not only prevention of infection, also resistance to more severe complications, and showed that asymptomatic people will not shed with this virus. There have not been any children studied yet, but they apparently are moving to adolescents now and to children soon.
A lot of kids seem to be getting it.
Well, that's the other thing that's embedded in this. Where are we today? We're at 145,000 cases today, or yesterday. 145,000 cases. No, I'm sorry, 171,000. So we might be plateauing even. So we're up near 200,000 cases. That may be all young people who are not even getting sick.
That's what I think.
So they need to give us some data. The hospitalization rate doesn't even mean necessarily sick people. The hospitalization rate may reflect people at risk for serious illness who doctors are encouraging into the hospital. The declining or flat death rate is sort of the important data here. Now, in California, someone on the Restream said, Andrew Ashkasvili, of course, said, what do you, how come Andrew never comes in on this
I like
thread
Moderna
here?
better than Pfizer.
Why?
He says, I like Moderna better than Pfizer. Distribution will be easier because it doesn't have to be frozen. I saw that on the New York News.
That is true. Andrew said something, and I can't remember what I was saying.
Sorry.
This is the problem with an old brain.
No, this is because I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Go on.
Say it again, Andrew. It was so good.
Yeah. He was asking something about Moderna, children, Pfizer, cost, transportation. The AstraZeneca vaccine is probably going to be about $5 per vaccine.
Oh, here, he's got it.
Right now, the Moderna, so all the RNA vaccines and things are about $20 to $40, depending on what country you're in. Oh, I know what he was going to ask. He asked about, speaking of what country, he was asking about Governor Newsom here in California doing another lockdown. Remember, California causes what we call opening in California. Virtually every other country, certainly every country in Europe calls lockdown. We call it opening up, which is bizarre, everybody. But if those of you from California have any feelings about that, I'll be anxious to talk about it. But he is talking about putting a curfew in place and just weird things that he claims is coming from France and Saudi Arabia. I need to see more. I need to see the data he's claiming. I can tell you that Dr. Galley, who is his main medical advisor, has been so far off in his predictions, it's laughable. And the death rate in California declines every day. So what is it we're going after here with all these curfews and things, particularly with the vaccine a month off for risk population and first responders? So having said all that, let me turn to my...
Who wants to talk?
Yeah, who wants to ask a question? Oh, Casey gets right in there. Casey, what's up?
I didn't say anything.
No, it wasn't. It's not. You just still on there.
She knew. Susan knew.
All right, who wants to talk?
Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hey, Monica.
Hi. You just said something and you sort of glossed over it, and I would like to ask for clarification.
You got it.
You mentioned asymptomatic people will not shed.
Right.
Tell me, does that mean that asymptomatic people that do not get the virus will not shed, as Dr. Kelly Victory believes?
Asymptomatic people that do not get the...
I'm sorry, that do not get the vaccine. Sorry.
Asymptomatic people who do not get the vaccine will shed, potentially, we think. Right? So the vaccine is... So the point is about the vaccine is that it's protective on all fronts. It's sort of extraordinary. It's 95% effective, which is out of control crazy. It is protecting people from more serious disease, even if it doesn't completely... Even that 5% is not going to have severe disease. It's really an interesting thought experiment is, if I get the vaccine, do I still need to wear a mask? And if I don't wear a mask, are people going to be mad at me because I'm not signaling the proper etiquette? It's really kind of interesting to think about, because Fauci, before the Moderna vaccine came out, was saying, I still want people to wear masks because it's only 90%. Well, now we're 95% and no serious illness. You still need me to wear the mask? It's kind of an interesting thing. So anybody have any opinion about that?
It's a scary thing.
What's scary? Oh, that we could be...
everybody's vaccinated and we still have to wear a freaking mask? That's ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous. Carano, you have an opinion? You're moving around a lot.
Well, we still have to wear pants, and no one wants to do that.
Well, I don't know about no one. I really don't mind.
Mike,
I don't know about you, Mike, and I don't want you to stand up right now. Very, very specifically, I do not want you to stand up.
Do you anticipate a time where everyone or a lot of people are vaccinated and we get rid of the masks?
Yes, I do. But I have the thought experiment I was doing is I was thinking, that might not be till the summertime.
Yeah, but isn't there a potential? I don't want to go as far as say lawsuits, but isn't there a potential risk if you have people that won't take the vaccine and then they go out and...
So let me just make sure. So you're saying people that won't take the vaccine, and because they see me not wearing a mask, they won't wear a mask also. Is that correct?
No. I'm saying at some point in time, we're all going out, we're not wearing masks, and then we have to take into account there's a big percentage of people that won't take the vaccine for whatever reason.
Right.
And how are we going to deal with that?
We only need to get to 70%. If we get 70% vaccinated and recovered, we're going to be fine.
So if I take this vaccine, I cannot get it and I cannot give it to people. Is that correct?
No. You have a 5% chance of getting it, which I consider zero, just looking at probabilities. It's a 5% chance of getting it, and even if you get it, you only are prone to mild disease. You're not going to get it. You're only going to get the flu. You're not going to get the cytokine activation syndrome. Make sense? No?
Perfectly. No, of course not.
I'm
Oh, the
trying to make
cytokine activation syndrome. Yeah, I was just thinking about that this morning.
Does anybody know how to turn off this thing? It says turn off original file. I don't know why, but it won't go away. I'm having a hard time technically because I'm like not Zoom friendly. But and if anybody knows, just type it so I can fix it.
So No Duck Ross is saying that would be gambling like crazy. That is not gambling. In medicine, if you get a 95% cure, we consider that cured.
Yeah.
I had my prostate out because it was going to give me a 90% cure rate. I don't even think about it. That was cured as far as I was concerned. That was 90%. So 95%, that's a statistically, if you want to play the lottery or something, fine. But statistically, you really don't have to worry about it at 95%.
You know what? Once I asked you about something like this similarly years and years ago, and you told me there's doctors that work on specific types of cancer that have 100% failure rate, and that blew my mind.
Oh, that still exists.
Yeah, but I mean that blows my mind that you dedicate your life to this certain strain of cancer, and pretty much know that you might go your entire life with this never being resolved.
But think about if you could make a dent in it, you'd be really doing something substantial. I think that's what gets them. And listen, back when I was in training, just being an oncologist was, a cancer specialist was sort of that way, because there was so little we could do with most cancers. Now, most cancers have been turned into chronic illnesses or curable. The three that are still essentially 100%, pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, if they're at a certain stage. I mean, you can still cure lung cancer very localized. You can still cure colon cancer very localized. Problem with pancreatic cancer is by the time we find it, it's like Alex Trebek. It's a goner, and it's 100%.
Yeah, but he made it to 80s.
Yeah, he made it 8 years of age, and he made it like almost a year and a half with it, which is usually 6 months period. That was it. So they are pushing that one back too.
Post chemo, does your lifespan change?
If you have, well, you're asking a very complicated question.
That's a philosophical question.
Not really, because if you have chemo and radiation for, let's say, acute lymphocytic leukemia when you're a child, it changes your development. It changes your brain a little bit. You're more prone to other cancers later. We don't like to think about that, but that's true. If you're having chemo as an adult, it really depends which chemo and what age, whether or not it puts you at risk of other things. But there is no doubt once you've had one cancer, you are at risk for others. So that's kind of a thing, which is why, now me with prostate cancer, which is why I do upper and lower endoscopies every year, because I'm at risk for that kind of stuff. So there's ways to manage the risk. That's all.
Do you know who Zach Flanders is?
No. Is Zach on the panel here?
Somebody said he said you better recognize my name. What does that mean?
Zach,
LOL. He's being funny.
Is he on this thread here?
He wants to talk about the vaccine too, but whatever.
Okay. Think about all the people. This is Andrew. Think about all the people who've had antibodies already, who have got COVID, and add the people who had it and didn't know. Now add the people who are getting vaccinated. We should be in great shape soon. Yes, that's exactly correct, Andrew. So Mike doesn't have to get the vaccine, and he can feel okay still.
I have to get a job, right?
Right. You still have to get a job, Mike. So I think Christine is holding her hand up. Like this is Christine's new way of getting attention. So Christine, go ahead.
Well, it's what I have to do with my kids all day. So it's like, it's waiting. My question is, in regards to the vaccine and the way it's to be distributed once it is approved. I've heard the folks who will likely get it initially are those who are highly at risk, healthcare workers, elderly, those with existing conditions. My question is, because I'm so damn selfish, is when are they going to get around to give it to the kids so that they can go back to school?
Yeah. So let me sort of drill into the. I am speaking to a guy tonight on the Fox 11 program I do about the distribution. Now, I've heard rumblings that healthcare providers can get it through the hospital they work at. So I'm going to go get it from the hospital immediately. I have elderly patients calling me already asking for this. I've told you elderly people are pissed.
They want to get out.
Yeah, they are pissed that their life is being taken from them when they have such limited time left. So my patients are calling me like, you're going to get that vaccine for me, right? And I said, yeah. I will really do my best to get it. But I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I know I'm going to work on it. I just don't know how yet. I do know that the general public, the numbers, the time frame I keep hearing for the general public is April. But all that data I keep hearing is for adults. The children portion of the studies have not yet been completed. And I told my kids who are in their 20s, they might want to wait for the standard protein vaccine, the attenuated virus, the kind of vaccine we've always done, rather than the fancy RNA viruses. I mean, my life expectancy is 20 more years or so. That RNA virus isn't going to hurt me probably. But somebody who's got 60 years of life ahead, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so,
Right.
but I and I'm tired
Will
of
it
this.
cause infertility?
I'm willing
Will
to
it
take some
cause
risk. Right.
weird side
It
effects?
shouldn't, but I'm willing to take some risk. So in terms of your kids,
I mean, if they were
Christine,
obese or they had like cancer or something.
right. So
So I
I'm betting, I'm guessing, I'm not even betting, I'm getting, Christine, we're talking about the summer for your kids. That's my bet,
Yeah.
my guess.
But won't they just like put it in the flu shot or something? Or is it going to be like a two-parter where you have to get like
It's
two
a
shots?
two-parter. The Pfizer vaccine is separated by 4 weeks. One of them is separated by 4 weeks. One of them is separated by 3 weeks. I think the Pfizer is 3 weeks and the Moderna is 4 weeks, something like that. Essentially the same thing. Two-part vaccine. Definitely local reaction. Definitely headaches and muscle aches and that kind of stuff, which I get every time I take a vaccine.
Yeah.
Why was I saying that? But it's a one-timer. You don't need it every year like a flu vaccine. And based on the experience with immunogenicity around SARS coronavirus 1, there is evidence that of 17 years of immunoreactivity to SARS coronavirus 1. In fact, some people may have been exposed to SARS 1 and may be immune to SARS 2. We're trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
It's a long-winded way of answering your questions, and I apologize for that. Okay,
no,
I
I
get it.
Oh, wait, I have to turn it back up. Sorry.
Sorry, Christine, go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
I thought you all would get a kick out of the fact that my son tried to put a Band-Aid on a non-existent wound the other day and instead used a panty liner and thought it was a giant Band-Aid.
A panty liner.
Yeah, I let him burn for 2 hours.
Bravo,
Welcome to
bravo,
Good.
bravo. And by the way, I mean, industrious, creative. Why not? I mean,
Makes for
why
a great
not?
story.
That's
Dr.
so
Drew,
funny.
Yes.
this is Leopold.
Hey, Leopold.
Hey, so big question. So there have been reports of folks who've had COVID and recovered and then got COVID again.
Yes.
How does that go to the vaccine and whether or not we'll have long-term immunity with the vaccine?
I'm not sure I can answer that in a meaningful way because we don't know what happened with these people that had the virus twice, right? There's been various theories about it. One is that they never cleared it in the first place. Another is that they had some substrain that had mutated enough to trick the immune system. So I can't answer it. So let me try to reframe your question, which is, how do you know that the virus, I guess the best way to ask the question is, how do you know the virus won't change such that this vaccine will hold, right? Would
That's
that be
correct.
a way? Yeah. The answer is, I don't think anybody can answer that. I don't know. I think the virus has been, there was this outbreak in minks. Did you see that, Leopold, that outbreak in
yeah.
Denmark?
Absolutely. They had to kill all the minks. Yeah.
But now it broke out. It got out of the minks into humans, and there was grave concern about that for a couple of days, and then it kind of went away. So I don't really know what to make of that yet. But that's the kind of thing that could screw us up, right? And we'll see. We'll see if there's at very least, we know the technology is such that we could do this again if we needed to in a very short period of time. So that's kind of the good news here. Other questions in the group there?
Hey, Dr. Drew.
Hey, man.
Good to talk to you. I've got the Zelenko protocol going. I got my vitamin C, my vitamin D, my zinc 25,
I love it.
and my hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, you're going all the way.
You'd bet. So here's the situation. My wife is 49. I'm 51. We're diligent about wearing masks when we're outside, doing the distancing thing, limiting indoor businesses when possible. We're both overweight. We have hypertension, which is well managed. We're considering taking a trip to Florida to Walt Disney World, with Disneyland being closed for basically looks like over a year it's going to be. I think we have a pretty good idea of what to expect in Florida with air travel, but what we want to know is we're just trying to get a good sense of risk analysis, right?
Well, my understanding is there have been 0 cases connected to Disney World. Now,
Right.
that doesn't mean there haven't been any. That means there's just 0 connected to it. the real problem in risk assessment for what you're talking about, something like 70% of the cases right now, we don't know where it's coming from, right? We don't know if it's kids coming home from school. We don't know if it's little kids. We don't know if it's in the home. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of scurrying around now trying to figure this out. Leopold, you're up on this data. Is there anything that you see as a sort of smoking gun in terms of where the transmission is occurring?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. In terms of, kind of stating the obvious with concentration of people, so the higher mass of people, higher probability because you don't know who's asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Then, of course, indoors. So, you concentrate the aerosol. And of course, you and I have talked about aerosols in email quite a bit. And aerosol transmission is something that I'm very concerned about where I work, because I do all the health and safety at where I work. And so that's something that we're looking at in a big way.
Right. So aerosols are one big concern. Andrew Ashkazili is there. He forgot to mention ivermectin looking very good in early use. Yeah, I thought of that too, Andrew, when Keith mentioned his hydroxychloroquine. If you get sick, you might want to talk to your doctor about ivermectin, Keith. Ivermectin, okay? You got that? That's also a Zelenko thing. It's an Andrew thing. It's a Dr. Yo thing. They convinced me that's good if you get sick. I'm not convinced hydroxychloroquine is good for prophylaxis. I use quercetin. I understand if you use the hydroxychloroquine on his protocol, I get it. But back to Leopold's point, the only thing I can say for sure, and you can see this wherever you look at the data, when there's a large congregation of human beings, there's transmission. So we had in Southern California, we had this huge demonstration of Armenians because of the border
Protests.
action. Yeah, it was a protest against what's the country?
They blocked the 110 freeway in
I
LA.
understand, but I'm trying to remember the name of the country that Armenians.
Genocide.
No.
It's no, it's for
Somebody help me.
Beirut.
Azerbaijan.
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 They're fighting with Azerbaijan right now.
Sorry, I should know that.
And they did several days of protesting, and most of our Armenian community in Southern California is in Glendale.
Glendale, California.
Now there's a big outbreak in Glendale.
Which
so
is
there
our
you
neighbor
go.
next
So,
door.
and we shouldn't be surprised when that happens. We should be like, oh yeah, okay, there's that outbreak.
Did I call that out, or did I call that out?
And guess what? Mostly young people, mostly mild illness. No hospitals aren't overloaded here locally. Nothing, no big deal. So okay, if people want to take that risk, let's not go. Let's not scratch our heads and try to figure out what's happening. It's happening. But I think Leopold has been an early sounding the alarm early to aerosols, and that might be where some of this stuff is coming from.
And Dr. And that was something that I wanted to point out, in terms of, this upcoming Thanksgiving, and during a surge, depending on where you are in the country, I have a big concern about that. I won't celebrate Thanksgiving in person with my family just because of that reason. Because, depending on the percent that's in the community, especially with the younger asymptomatic carriers and the potential of that, that could be a problem.
Yeah, and I'm all for people electing to do what they want to do. I'm not so cool with the state mandating from on high. That seems weird to me. But Keith, let me go back to your question. So I mean, there is real risk in what you're talking about. It's not risk-free. And as we're telling you, probably in of all the things you're describing doing, the safest part of it is probably being on the airplane.
The plane.
Yeah, the plane is probably the safest thing of all. The airports are not so cool. The airports are a little more risky. Disney World is probably safe. They're falling all over themselves to maintain safety. But this issue of aerosols is why I had Leopold talk about it, is what could plague you, because you could be really practicing very careful distancing and mask wearing and all this stuff, and aerosols in a restaurant or aerosols in the airport or aerosols with your Uber driver, whatever it is, that's the hole in the dike. Mm-hmm. And the question is, how much risk do you want to take? And understand, you said something else too I want to point out, and people have been, and Christine, you said this too when you talked about pre-existing conditions. And Keith, I want to go back to your comment about obesity and hypertension.
Yes.
It's having obesity, having hypertension, having hypercholesterolemia, having insulin resistance, independent of whether it's controlled or not, puts you at higher risk. Okay. So when you say I have hypertension, it's well controlled, good. You're not going to have a stroke from your hypertension, but it doesn't take away your added risk from COVID, right?
Understood. Yeah.
And so that's the key thing I want you to think about. You are at risk. You got to be very careful. And, everyone needs to decide how much risk they're willing to take and then navigate accordingly. That's
where we're having difficulty, because I know that we as humans have such a lousy time assessing risk.
You're right about that, my friend. And it seems like in this country in particular right now, it's been the death of math. I was complaining about that 10 minutes ago when I was saying that 95% efficacy is efficacy. That's as close to 100% as I need to get in a biological system to consider something that's 100%.
And with the media sensationalizing everything, it's like, I just want facts. I just want truth. It's so hard to get, which is why we so rely on you to sort all that out.
Well, it's very kind, Keith. And if I'm sitting here, if I'm your doctor in a clinic setting, I'm going to say, hey, don't go. But but I want you to feel empowered to make your own choices also. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Your own risk.
Your opinion means a lot on that, and I think it's going to weigh very heavily on.
Okay, it's a different. When you're given the responsibility to make a call for somebody, it's different than if, hey, you and I as two individuals are just talking about the risk, right? Different thing. And if you're asking me in a setting where I'm responsible, I'm gonna say, the scale's a little tilted against you. And by the way, the vaccine's coming so fast. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. All right.
This question formulated before the news of the vaccine. So
yes, I get you.
Yeah.
For less money than the Disneyland trip, you could probably buy everyone in your family VR goggles and get some acid and have way more fun.
Mike, I'm so glad you're here. So you're probably right. Mike, you seem
that's my sober recommendation.
Hang on, buddy. Mike, you seem in a mood today. So, is it just because?
No, I'm exhausted and I'm kind of overwhelmed, and I do this thing where once I get really busy, I decide to put everything off. So I'll be in a jam tonight.
Good.
It's all right.
So here's what I want to ask you.
Done.
Here's what I want to ask you. Yes. So you said something really interesting last time you were on with the group here with the chat room. And you said that when Biden won, you thought that was going to make you happy, and it didn't because you were still stuck with your own stuff.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
It's a very tough emotion to reconcile with, that you believe a large amount of people are so dead wrong. It's just it's not a pleasant thing to deal with.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
I mean, my opinion, is that, my opinion, and that people don't see it the way I see it.
So half the country doesn't see it the way you see it, and that makes you angry.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
And I've had legit conversations about this, and I've tried to stick to just facts, and it appears that a lot of people don't want to hear the facts. They just want their way.
And here's the other thing. There's a bunch of Mike Caranos on the other side thinking the same thing.
Of course. But it's hyper frustrating when you're having a legit conversation with somebody and you go, but he's a liar. And they go, that's your opinion. And I go, no, it's not my opinion. I could factually show you what he said and what he did. I go, that's a lie. No, that's your opinion. And you just go, I don't understand where you're coming from. I don't understand what you're getting out of this. I don't get it. I don't know. I always go back to the same arguments. I think about in the beginning of his presidency, when all these women were coming forward.
So you're back, even though.
Of course I am. I'm trying to simplify it into one example.
Wait, but I'm saying even though you've successfully pushed forward a political agenda that meets your approval.
I've done nothing.
You're pissed. You're pissed that you're still pissed.
I'm still.
You're pissed. There are people that have a different opinion than you.
I think it's deeper than that. I think it's way deeper than that.
What is it?
I think I remember in the beginning, all these accusations of sexual assault come forward. The president's response is they're all liars, and those women got death threats nonstop. One guy kneels at a football game to protest police violence. The president makes it crystal clear he's disrespecting the flag. That was never the case. Yet millions of people went, fuck him, he's disrespecting the flag. And I look
you
at
don't
that
think
abuse,
those people are ready? And I'm not playing. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm looking at the abuse of power when you have such a big platform. And I can't fathom being a parent of a little girl going, hey, listen, if a guy like that ever does something to you, you should keep your whore mouth shut because, you know, you're going to be. I mean, that's what it was to me, is you keep your mouth shut because he's going to tell people you're just a lying whore and everyone's going to beat you up. And I feel so strongly about that. I don't even want to talk about this, to be honest with you. Let's go back to something more light.
There's people that would disagree. Well, I don't think on that issue. I think you find people pretty much with you. But look, the point I was making was that things should get better, and yet you don't feel better.
True.
I feel like I'm disconnected from a lot of people, and I don't know if there's a repair in the future. I really don't. You need
to work on. You need to try.
Doc, I actually kind of feel the same way Mike does. I feel like our country is very, very divided right now because of politics, and it's all coming down to one guy. And Mike's on one side of the fence where he's saying he doesn't like the man personally, and I agree with his opinion. I'm looking at it from what he actually did politically.
I understand. We're getting into politics, and that's I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to get into the feelings.
Sounded like you wanted to
make
do that.
Mike uncomfortable.
No, I wanted to get into the feelings about the politics, which is what where all the craziness comes in.
Yeah.
You know what I want out of a politician? Honest to God, I want inspiration. I want somebody that makes me proud. I want somebody that just makes me go, okay, this is fine. The separation of everyone's opinions afterwards, but this 4 years did not make me proud. It made me scared the whole fucking time.
And it's ending. But I think there's a group of people who wanted to throw an M80 into the political system. They literally wanted.
Hey, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I love chaos. I love it when things are going fucking haywire.
May I counterpoint real quick,
Casey?
With the what about the AOC blacklist?
No, shut up.
Okay. Let's stop the politics.
They're actually friends now on locals.
Let's all agree we're going to try to bring people together. That
was a term of endearment, Casey, coming from Mike. So.
Can I say
absolutely. I've gotten used to it.
Go ahead, Anthony. Hey, let me let Anthony come in here to give us a little.
Here's my deal about all of this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, nobody can make you feel any way. You have to allow yourself to feel this way. Okay. And if we continue to point fingers at people for making us feel this way instead of taking our own matters into our hand and change how we react to situations, things will never get better for the individual. I mean,
yes.
I live in the same world as everybody else, but none of this stuff bothers me. And I'm just the same as everybody else. Like, I got to pay taxes. I got to go to work, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going to let anybody's opinion make my day so unbearable that I'm miserable.
Anthony, that's what I was hoping to get at with Mike before you went out, because he was saying that that's what was bothering him, is he was letting people affect him, or the fact that that now the political change was coming and it didn't elate him, and that made you feel less, or made you feel concerned because you were still stuck with your own head.
And little inside tip about me is I'm an alcoholic, and stereotypical alcoholics let everything affect them.
Right.
And anything can fuck me up or make my day. I can be in the most foul, disgusting mood, and then I get a phone call from somebody.
But that's what Anthony's talking about. He's talking about, right? Anthony, I'll let you answer him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I like that stereotypical alcoholic because I can wear that suit quite well. But
you can.
Sometimes things take practice, but if we don't look for the solution, we'll never find it. That's all I'm saying.
So Mike, what's the difference between
hold on, I got to give a lesson real quick. It's like this.
Hey, the stock Hulk and go in peace. Hey, real quick, man, what's the difference between plugging the jug and being a dry alcoholic and actually being in recovery? You have to ask yourself that question.
I didn't come on this thing to learn.
Hey, you opened it up, Mike.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm considerably better than I was years ago. I'm 1,000 times better than I was a year. Not but I'm much, much better. But I still revert back at times. And
that's kind of what I was going for when I asked the question. And I'm here to witness that Mike is 1,000 times better, and most of the time doesn't let himself fall into the pity pot thing.
Yeah, and sometimes I want it because it's like a drug.
Politics.
Anger is a drug for me. Sometimes I'm in a great place sometimes, and I just go, you know what? Let me just read a couple of articles on the news and get fucking riled up and feel my heart rate. And I just choose to do it. Not nearly as much as I did in the past when I was truly miserable most of the time. And
I have something that might cheer you up a little bit.
Who's that? Who's there? Kristen. Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, so
is it Kristen or Christine? So I don't screw that up.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Tell me.
It's Chris.
Teddy.
What is it, Christine?
Teddy. It's Chris.
Whiskers.
I like Teddy.
Oh God, no! I don't like that.
No, you're
I'm pretty
Chris,
good.
It says.
Whisk Chris.
You already made me feel better, Chris, by accepting that I don't have to deal with my kids going back to school.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. But last week, I am renovating my house since I'm paying like a ridiculous amount of college loans for a degree I don't even use. I do construction, and I fell off a ladder. Boom. And I thought I was fine. I did this nifty judo like roll, but the next morning I woke up and my shoulder hurt. So I drove myself to the ER because I'm hardcore. And my sister called me later. She heard I hurt myself. And then it started off with, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she started laying into me about my politics and my views and saying, "You're so insensitive." And I'm like, I fell off a ladder. And you're yelling at me about politics. I mean, who's the insensitive one? I'm iced from head to toe. This stuff just makes people crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to moving on from it, because when it could go from what's more important, that, I could have sustained injury, didn't, lucky me, but then like flipping it in a second and being like, I don't like your views. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
You can still fold laundry. We saw
I got it all.
We saw you. You're doing a fabulous job over there.
I didn't mean to be rude, but nobody else is going to do it. So
no rude.
I was going to. Can I say something?
Yes. Who's that?
Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Hi. I was on, I think, the last Zoom you guys had. I'm a nurse up in Washington.
Oh, yeah. Hi. How are you? Welcome
back. Hi. Thanks. And I think it was towards the end, and I've been thinking about this, and this probably doesn't make any difference, and he doesn't have to accept my apology, but I think, is it Mike he was talking about Trump things and how it made him upset. And I think about worrying about going outside and Trump supporters doing things. And I kind of overspoke when he was talking and was like, my Trump friends or people that I know aren't going to do that. And I just wanted to apologize because I wasn't being like sensitive to his feelings. And it's just been bothering me because I shouldn't have, just yelled something like that when I knew.
Don't worry. Mike is busy beating himself up. He doesn't need anybody else.
So, anyway, I shouldn't have
Thank
said
you for
something
saying
like
that.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So
Diana.
I apologize.
Thank you for that.
Sweet.
Dana, your voice all of a sudden sounds very familiar to me. Do I know you from somewhere?
Me? I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I've been on here before.
Yes.
No, I don't. Yeah.
So can I shout out to a couple of questions on the restream that we kind of went over?
Let me quickly go over one from Flora May, who I don't see on the chat there. Is Flora May in there anywhere? I don't see her. How does one bring up someone's defensiveness without the person becoming defensive? Mike? Essentially the way don't use a lot of you statements. Why are you? Use I'm wondering, I've noticed, those kinds of words. It's a funny thing. Use humor if you can. Mm-hmm. Nothing direct. Everything around. Mm-hmm. What else you got, Susan?
Well, Christopher Lundgren asked like 6 times, but you had to go by. Do you think that this is a good way of taking precautions? Our family is meeting for Thanksgiving and wearing masks and face shields. We have me with mild asthma, well-controlled diabetes. Mm-hmm. A1C is 6.2. My mother-in-law is dialysis, but insists on going. And will physical distance, eat outside, and wear an N95 mask and face shield.
You should be fine.
What if everybody gets tested like this week?
You can get tested. They'll add even more protection. But
So you
the
feel
outer
better.
doors, the N95, everything. I mean, the distancing. That reduces transmission. It just
And then
does.
just
Now
clean the
I know
place.
that Leopold will worry about aerosols, but I think these are people you know.
How many
and-
people are going, and are there lots of young kids that have been in school, or are they just?
Right. Those are good questions.
That
If
scenario
Keith goes to
definitely sounds
Disney
like a-
World, what percentage does wearing eye protection protect him more than just the masks?
Does anybody know the answer to that?
I
I've-
heard that if you wear glasses, you have a lower
I've
rate
seen.
of getting.
I bet Leopold knows this. I've seen people wearing goggles and stuff lately. To me, that seems a little
you already wear
excessive.
goggles.
But
Is
if
that
you don't, if you don't work, if you're not Diana working in a hospital, I don't know. But go ahead, Leopold. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, part of it is just the idea of. My understanding is there's been some infection routes through the eyes and the eye mucosa, so that would be one thing. But if you actually take a look at aerosols hitting just a face shield, you'll notice that it actually goes in
Underneath.
underneath.
Yeah.
So it's a feel good kind of measure, and I suppose if you get someone sneezing and it hit the face shield, that would be a good protective measure. But
Right.
Unless you're in a full face respirator with with the face shield, right? With a tight fitting respirator, that would be a lot different.
Yeah,
but
we saw people wearing goggles, tight-fitting goggles on the flight yesterday. I was like, "Oh boy!"
But if he
that
goes-
seems excessive.
If he goes to Disney World, should he change his mask like every couple of hours?
Mm-hmm.
Wendy says yes. Again, we're splitting hairs here, and if you're really getting down to that point, I feel like you shouldn't be going. You know
I'm
what I mean?
desperately trying to change the topic off of the.
Off of you. Well, we got a big group here. Let them ask some questions.
Okay,
Who-
here's another one though. Before
Okay.
it was way up the stream, and I
Okay.
don't know if this guy's still here, but they said with quercetin, can your heart rate be accelerated? I've noticed my heart rate increased from 65 to 70 to 85, 90 BPM on two separate occasions.
I would think more the zinc would be the issue, but I don't know the answer to that. You just look it up online, just quercetin side effects. I don't see how it would, but it's possible. Here, they're asking Joseph. It's Joseph Giannotti is asking.
Thanks,
right
Chad Quackenbush, for the super chat.
now. Susan, other questions before I go to the group?
No, go ahead.
Any group?
Oh,
question?
look, the guy just said it was Joseph. He just said it again right before.
Right.
We got it. Good.
Oh, can I get a quick 30 seconds here because I'm at work?
You bet.
And my infection control nurse wants to pop her head in because she's on my back about it.
Great. Hey there. How are you?
You said no.
Hey, maybe she can answer some of these questions we have. What was the last one?
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for.
Yeah.
Where'd she go? Anthony, talk
Just,
again.
they have to talk.
I lost Anthony.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
There
There
you
you are. Hi, what's your name?
How angry are you right now that he's not wearing a mask?
I know what's going on. Well, Anthony's not wearing a mask. He's transmitting.
I
Busted.
I thought her name was Christine. Was I right?
Y'all-
was Kitsy.
I was going to say it's Betty. Christine.
How are the challenges of infection control at your facility? What things keep you awake at night?
I don't know if it keeps me awake, but I guess it would be just making sure I am doing what I need to do and not missing anything more than what everybody else is doing, because I can't ever predict that.
Right. Well, and you guys have some, difficult behavioral issues where, there's Andy. So you wear goggles, Anthony, right?
Yes.
And that's because people can spit and stuff, right? When they get going.
Yeah.
So
she wears the mask. I wear the goggles.
But when you get let's say you get a violent psychotic patient, I'm imagining that's an infection control nightmare.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
when you wear one of those face shields, the plastic is so thin they can pull it off of you and cut you with it.
Sure. So you wear the goggles, you wear the mask, and even then you just do the best.
I always hated that part about my job, that the people there could pull my mask off and cut me with it.
He's talking about the comedians at the Improv Club. which in reality you have a reason to be concerned. So do you have anything to offer us or questions or anything? Can you nurse hear us, Anthony?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
No, Jenna. She's an infections.
All right. Well, thank you for all you
nurse.
do,
She
and thank you for the
doesn't
work
have
there
any
at that
questions.
facility. And we love Anthony, so keep him well.
Not even,
okay?
not even is that cool guy Mike single?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
Mike
girls.
Crono is single. Okay. Other questions from the crowd?
Dr. Drew.
Yes. There you are.
Hi. First, I want to say thank you for bringing some rationality to the COVID thing. I started listening to you right when New York City became the epicenter of the epicenter.
Oh boy. And I'm noticing from the green screen behind you. It's hi guy.
Yeah. No, I've been listening to the past few podcasts with you and Adam, and I asked my mother, who was a teenager in the 70s, how bad were the 70s? And she's always like, I don't know why you keep asking me that. I loved them.
They were great.
Wendy still liked them too. Of course, anybody can have, a good or a bad time in any decade, right? But Adam this morning texted me 2 videos from Love Boat, literally where Doc Ricker is making out with 2 women on the deck in his full costume, his full, uniform.
In a bikini?
And they needed him for something. He's like, hold on, I'm busy. It's like, cut to the next scene. He's preparing some champagne, waiting for these same 2 women to show up in his cabin. And the women, of course, had no personality, no autonomous sort of character or motivation except sex. And that's the kind of stuff that was pervasive in the 70s. It was really bad culturally. Mike Carano will disagree with you. Mike and I actually did a thing at the Improv where we argued about whether the 70s were terrible or great. And Mike argued they were great. Right?
Yeah. I still stand by that.
I just simply showed
Smokey and the Bandit.
Women.
Not for
Let me
women.
tell you.
Not for women. And I showed a picture of Penn Station being torn down. And that was my other. Do I need to say more?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
He's quiet.
So my friend who's got the Right Guard
Shut him
commercial behind
down.
him.
No, we love
get,
you, Mike. It's okay if you.
I didn't get the name. What is the name of that?
George
What is
Clark.
it?
George Clark.
George. Oh, it's George. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. So my real question is going back to immunity with this thing.
Yeah.
So regular common cold coronavirus is very limited immunity, 6 months a year.
That and they change. They're all different viruses. There are lots of different kinds of viruses. So go ahead.
Then why with the original SARS, which is a coronavirus, provides such long-lasting immunity?
We don't know. Probably because something about the SARS virus has stability in and around things like the spike proteins.
Yeah.
There's relative stability across time, and it triggers, for whatever reason, a exuberant immune response. So there's a lot of T cell memory. I'm about to go do a thing with that Additics company where we start measuring the T cells and seeing what people have against coronaviruses.
Now, you mentioned you've been listening to Dr. John Campbell out of the UK.
I have been.
Yeah, and he seems to think that with these vaccines, we can eradicate the virus within a few seasons.
Yep.
Is that?
I mean, we thought, I always get nervous when people talk about eradicating a virus because, we thought we eradicated polio. We thought we eradicated syphilis. We thought we eradicated
Smallpox.
What's that?
Smallpox.
Smallpox,
and
right.
It pops up now and then.
And these things have a way of coming back. So the idea of eradicating a virus, I always think is sort of a mistake, a mistake. But I think we can get it really, really, really under control.
That'd be a relief.
That would be a relief. I think we can get back to a normal life, George. And
so Chad Quackenbush has a super chat question.
I'm so confused. Fauci says no Thanksgiving with family. I believe in Fauci. I believe in masks. Live in upstate New York. Voted for Trump. Not sure if I should just shut it down. Old parents. So, Chad, the at-risk population are the people that need to be protected. period, end of story, until we get a vaccine, right? So if you have a 75-year-old and above, especially with risk factors, metabolic syndrome, maybe they should not come to Thanksgiving. Or if they do, you got to wear the mask and distance and all that good stuff. And one thing, I've had patients ask me this question, and elderly patients. And what I tell them is, and they're like, I don't want to miss I may only have 3 Thanksgivings left. I don't want to miss my grandchildren this Thanksgiving. And what I tell them is, you need to talk to your family about how much risk you want to take. How important is it to you to get to this Thanksgiving, and what can you do to mitigate? Can you go outside and distance and wear some masks and all these things? Or not? It's really, we need to begin to rely on some of these people who are at risk to navigate this on they're adults. They've lived 80 years. They should have a say in this in the limited time they have left, and we should be talking to them about it. And some of them want complete protection. I've got those patients. And some of them want none.
And some of them don't want to come at all. You might be giving them a break.
That's
Trust me.
That's right.
That's what ours were like. They were like, oh, Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So
Do I have to?
it's a complicated question, and you just speak openly and honest amongst the family members. You can Zoom it, you can distance it, you can do lots of things, you can mitigate it in lots of ways. But leave the.
I can imagine my dad would want to drive up here for an hour if he didn't have to.
Yeah, your dad would have been relieved. So
I have a question.
Yeah, Mike.
I've heard this before. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe you can settle this. Okay. I was under the impression that in the beginning of the virus, this has been made very clear to me specifically and literally that if we all would have just worn masks and not gone out for 2 weeks, it would have gone away. Is that true?
If what?
If we all would have isolated, not gone out at all, and it would have gone away in 2 weeks.
I don't see how that's even remotely possible.
Well, then why is it a 2 week quarantine for people that get it?
Not because you stop producing virus after that point.
Yeah.
You stop, you don't produce any more virus. But there's a whole world out there and the virus gets in through, whatever means. People still move around.
But I'm led to believe
look at New Zealand and islands that did that. It still came back in. It still comes back. It just does. Sure. And that's where, that's one of the criticisms of being overly aggressive is that if you really need time, that's a good way to buy time, but it doesn't prevent the virus from coming back. Somebody has a question here: would medical marijuana or CBD oil help pain from trigeminal neuralgia? Both can. The CBD is less risky.
Sunny Chopra wants to know, he got COVID. Can I get it again, Drew? The German guy had it, and now he's quarantined.
Right. The probability of recurrent, we will soon be able to, get your antibodies tested. If you have an adequate antibody response, and they can also show viral neutralizing antibodies, you don't have to worry about it.
Donate blood.
Donate blood. Go donate blood. Thank you, Casey. Great.
Yeah, no worries.
Great note.
Dr. Drew, I have a question about that.
Yes.
I was exposed in April.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I did donate blood because of watching this stream, and I tested positive for antibodies in July.
Yeah.
Well, what about now? That's
right. So the answer is the answer is less sure, right? Less certain. The growing consensus is you should be fine. And we will soon, like in January, I can refer you to a blood test that will tell you yes or no. Okay.
Through that Additix?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's when the vaccine comes out, I want to know, should I take it?
Really interesting question. I at this point, I would say my guess is they will not be recommending it for people that have had it. However, sometimes they will recommend vaccines even when people still recommend the shingles vaccine if you've had shingles, because there's a finite but remote chance of recurrence.
Do you think it matters? I didn't have any symptoms, but I was definitely exposed. That's why I got the antibody test.
Yeah.
A household exposure. So
yes.
For sure I was exposed heavily.
Yes.
Does that make any difference that I didn't get sick?
You're asking again. These are great questions. They are absolutely things you should be thinking about. And one day we'll be able to answer it with great certainty. We can't yet. again, as the information has moved along, you're fine. The more we learn, the more we think you should be fine. But we can't say it with categorical certainty yet. So keep your eye on things. Look out for recommendations for vaccines for even COVID. Certainly, you won't be getting it this year. You won't be getting the vaccine in the next 6 months. It's going to be saved for people who are at risk and who haven't had it yet. But I can foresee a time when they might recommend it for people that have had COVID. Or we're going to get you that Additics test, and you can find out, do I have a memory T cell cohort sufficient that I would likely have cellular immunity? That's the future. That's the future.
And how do you spell that? Additics?
ADTITX. I'm going to get tested myself on December 1st, and going to see what I got. And they're going to make a big deal out of it. But I think that technology could be very, very useful, and for exactly the reasons you're looking at. Plus,
my mom was exposed too, and she's 76, and has hypertension, so she is at risk. She tested negative for antibodies, but she had the same heavy household exposure.
Yeah.
I feel like she might still be immune, but I don't know. I don't know if she should take the vaccine then. So
right.
Does she wait for the Additics test, or
if I were sitting advising her, I'd say, get the vaccine. Why don't we get the vaccine? I mean,
that's what she wants to do, I think. So.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Really good questions. Really interesting. You see how when you get in the weeds on this, it gets dicey. You know, these are very specific concerns.
You got to get going.
I know, I got to go.
You have Fox News.
Yes,
tonight.
I really have to go. In fact, I was going to tell everybody 10 minutes ago I have to go at 4:20, and now it's 4:20.
Alex misses you so much.
I know.
Thank you guys for having me again.
Mike, thank you for being here.
So awesome.
Thank you.
The panel, I'm sorry if anybody didn't get a chance to talk that wanted to talk. We love having you. I didn't hear anything from Tom Cigar today, which is kind of, are you okay, man? Everything good with you?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm just giving other folks a chance.
All right, fair enough.
ADITIX, Drew?
ADITX, I think it is. Additics. Anthony, great to see you, my friend. Go back and do your thing. Thank you to the infection control nurse. Mike, again, we appreciate you guys being here, and those of you that did participate, we appreciate that, of course. Bye. Hi, Monica. Bye-bye. And those of you on the restream, yeah, I won't be late, Andrew Ashkazvili. We're going to be talking about Mr. Newsom and his shenanigans.
His party. I don't know what happened because I was in Mexico not paying attention, but did Newsom do something?
He's on the verge of doing something, and it's getting kind of weird.
I have one last
question. He went to a big party.
Like
he's telling us not to go to parties, so there was that.
I have one last question.
Yeah, Mike, real quick.
Can you tell me specifically, without a doubt, when is the next virus coming, and what's it going to be?
I can tell you the thing I'm worried about: non-viral infectious disease. The one thing I like, one of the many things I like, there's things to like about this outbreak. There are things that have improved us as human beings, and one is a recognition that infectious diseases are serious and they can really be a problem. It's not all virus, though. I am worried about bubonic plague. I'm worried about typhus. They are here in this region, and they could cause some major, major, major problem. And we're pretending it's not so. So I'm worried about that. And then I'm worried that, I'm worried about the next virus, and that we are clearly not prepared for it. Though we have proven, again, that the American medical system, the biotechnologies and the medical system can respond with extreme alacrity, creatively, improv, and really deliver great science in extremely short order. But it costs billions of dollars, and we better have some money set aside to do that again if we need to. But it's what I thought would happen when this virus hit here, is that in this country we would respond differently than the rest of the world in such a way that it would mitigate the effects. And lo and behold, we're creating biotechnologies that is going to end the whole pandemic. So,
well, if we do get another big virus, it'll be right before a big election. I'm sure of that.
It might be the case. And Mike will be very unhappy. But we appreciate y'all being here, and we'll be in again tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Susan, correct?
No.
Yes. I don't think. No, I don't.
You don't have After Dark tomorrow? Okay.
Correct. I do not.
We'll be back.
Tomorrow?
I didn't know. I thought you were busy all day on Tuesday.
No, I'm good tomorrow.
But we do have, and I don't have the banner. we have Nikki Glazer coming in on Wednesday.
Oh, that's
for Ask
awesome.
Dr. Drew. Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll just take restreamers and talk to you guys. And I didn't know you were available tomorrow, so
I am. So we'll do another little streamy thing and
another little streamy thing.
answer questions, and we thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you. The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. Yeah, that's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401. Your heart lives in a sac called the pericardium. If you ever seen open heart surgery, they have to open the sac to get at the heart. And that sac can get inflamed, and it can stick to the heart, or it can form fluids between the heart and the sac. What's the matter?
I'm just thinking how nice it is that both aspects of love are housed in a sack. It's just beautiful, isn't it?
According to SAMHSA's National Survey on Drug Use and Health, approximately 20.3 million people above the age 12 suffer from substance use disorder. Incredible. The disease of addiction takes an average of 130 Americans every day. Sadly, the opioid crisis, which many consider the worst pandemic of our time, has been even further perpetuated by the spread of COVID-19. Since the start of the coronavirus outbreak, drug overdoses have increased by 18%. Factors like economic stress and social isolation have led to increased depression and unnecessary deaths. A Better Life Recovery is a premier addiction treatment center in Southern California, offering one of the most highly regarded and comprehensive addiction treatment programs in the United States. Dedicated to helping its clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation, they offer a 45 to 90-day program custom tailored to meet the needs of each individual client. Long-term is the way to go. Many of A Better Life's clients elect to stay up to 9 months to receive additional support. A Better Life Recovery will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to ensure the success of every client. Are you ready for a better life? Go to abetterliferecovery.com or call 866-581-4401 now.
So you have a good night, Kristen, and
Likewise.
here. We'll see ya.
Hey, you still here?
Hi,
Me?
Susan.
You're still
Yeah,
like the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I know. We
You're
still
still
have
here.
like 200 or 300
It's over.
people. I know.
Oh,
but
oh,
they
really?
guys never leave. It's like the party that never ends.
I don't want to leave. I was
Welcome
just
back
telling
home, Susan.
I was just telling everyone that I had C-sections with all three of my kids because their heads are in the 126th percentile.
Oh God.
And none of them are my blood type.
Really? Are you sure they're
Yeah, and I said if I had had natural delivery, it'd be like a gym sock turned inside. So gross.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. So you're part of the Vaginal Preservation Society, like I am.
Apparently. Do we get a pin or like a sash? like a Nicky Blue sash, like suffragette, be like never impaired.
But you guys were so funny, and if you guys want to go over and chat on YouTube, they're still hanging out over there. That's the going place here. So
You're really nice the way that you do all of this. I'm just stunned. You seem like such a sweet lady, and your arrange all of it. I don't do that for my spouse, but But he's not Dr. Drew. He's playing World of Warcraft in the basement.
Do you guys want to see another After Dark video?
Sure.
Ba, ba, ba. So good. So good.
Oh my God.
So good.
What the hell?
Well, he's clearly not enjoying the song.
What?
I thought that was great.
What the hell? You know, that looks like what was the
If there's any song to do that to, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh. That's right.
So if you guys you want to laugh, go over to Dr. Drew After Dark and check out this week's episode with Josh. He's
Oh, I already watched it.
Oh, you did? How was it?
Yeah. Hilarious. Josh. Oh my God. He's so cute.
Love that guy.
I have the same lights that
Love
you have in
sex.
your studio for my Christmas display.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to
You
you.
talking to me?
Yeah. I'll
you
put
know-
a Wisconsin spin on it. Go, yeah, buddy, I'm talking to you over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're still
The
live.
lights,
Now Drew's putting
You're a
it
little
on.
north.
Here's the
north
proper
of
cigar smoking
Virginia.
technique.
those lights are shining in the background and making you look a little blue and red there, buddy.
That's because I have blue and red lights around me
It's
as
really
well.
good. Yeah, he's all put together.
I'm trying. Well,
you
Susan
gotta
talks
do.
about building her studio on a shoestring.
Right?
Her
Oh,
studio
yeah,
is a
you're-
lot better than mine.
I know nobody's gonna see me right now because I just sort of rolled out of bed today and I'm hanging
yeah,
in
you
there.
just
But
got-
I just want to thank you guys again and
Casey's got some disco light camouflage going on down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we
Yeah.
get super
Oh, yeah.
funky over here.
I bet so. Yeah, all you need is a tree stand there and a quarter barrel of beer, and then you're like 2 snaps away from a Packer tailgate there, buddy.
I'm a
There you
big Pabst
go.
Blue Ribbon fan myself.
So did you guys like the conversation today? Are you good?
It was great. It was great.
Right.
You know, that's one thing, and that's why I've been trying to work on locals as much as possible. I want to try to bring up as many questions beforehand, so we're ready to go. You know, today was again kind of felt rushed, but
No,
it's getting better.
I did that
I was
on
a
purpose.
little unclear whether I
Okay.
should just jump in or if I should wait to be called. That was, I mean, I think we kind of flowed with it, but
Yeah, maybe we
if
need to
there's
have
a
raise our
better,
hands or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to
Yeah, work.
not follow the rules, but
What are you mumbling, Drew? I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to lean in.
Oh,
How did he get into that shirt?
You look sharp,
Drew.
He's like a magician. He's got
Quick
to
change artist.
run over. We have he has the Fox News tonight at
Oh,
7
good luck.
p.m.
What's the subject?
I don't know.
COVID.
Newsom is wild in California, so we're going to talk about him or something. I don't know.
so I have kind of a silly question, Susan.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Anytime I'm watching any kind of a video presentation or live thing like this, I'm always curious. What's the rest of the room look like?
Oh.
I saw a tour.
Oh, go to locals so you can see back behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think you put a
we
tour up
have-
Yeah,
there.
there's a bunch of behind
Yeah,
the
Drew
scenes.
had a video of it the other day.
I saw a still picture there.
Yeah, he
And
did
I'm on
like a little
Locals.
live video montage of room.
Okay, I might have missed that one. I'll have to go back and check it.
We have like 10 lights and 2 cameras and
Piles and piles of prostitutes.
yes. And we have like, we have a big computer, like a PC with 2 screens. So I have like the Zoom on one side, and I'll take some shots, and you can see it. And then
Great.
it used to be my kids' playroom, so we had a couch and a TV in here, and
Okay.
you can see the TV that I have there. That we're still using that. But then Drew also has a monitor in front of him, so he can see you from over there. So I'm on one side of the room, he's on the other side, sort of like a studio.
Right.
And we have curtains on one side, and just it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of messy. It's not like super organized or anything, but it's
Well, a lot of
This is
studios
Teddy.
are, there's the business that's actually intended for on screen, and then there's kind of everything else that's sort of behind the scenes, and it's not as orderly, but that's kind of
yeah.
what I
That's
find
what it
interesting.
is. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I mean, we've got a lot of equipment here, but we just have,
Teddy.
it works. I mean, I had it designed, but a friend of mine helped me design it, and then Caleb helped with all the lighting, and she built it all, and she went to Walmart and got those tiles behind the wall and spray painted them black, and then we have we have lights that shine up below, and then they can also.
Oh, those are black. They're not blue.
They're black. Like we have different light colors.
Very cool.
See, you can see the colors.
Oh,
I think I saw those exact same tiles on Amazon, but I didn't see them in black. And now I know how they got
they're
black.
White. She spray
Yep,
painted
I
them.
found the white ones. Exact same ones.
Yeah, so she got spray paint and she sprayed them all. And then she stuck them up on the wall, and they've kept falling down. And some of them you can see are kind of peeling off the ceiling, but it's all right. Whatever. Nobody can.
Hey guys, this is Pickles.
Ah,
Hey,
Pickles.
Pickles and that's Teddy.
There's one of your large-headed children.
But you guys, do me a favor. Share this today and tell your friends.
Oh, we will.
We'll do it again. I think I might do like one a week, and then we can,
cool.
have a. See, Anthony Brown just texted me. He goes, I didn't know about the after party. Well, last time when we hung up, I talked to you afterwards, but I figured I'd show everybody. But thank you again for everybody who's still on the restream and for coming and watching the show. And
thank you, Susan.
We really appreciate it. Our sponsors appreciate it. It helps, keep my kids in graduate school. God, I can't wait till they move out. But it's, but you guys had some great questions today, and it was definitely fun. I like.
Well,
doing
thanks
this
to
more
you,
than-
and also if you could express on my behalf our appreciation to Dr. Drew for just keeping things sensible and rational. It's so hard to find that kind of a channel. There's so little of that.
Yeah.
He's filling.
I know, and it's hard because he wanted to give messages on Fox News. That didn't work out very well, and the whole political part of it is medicine just can't be politicized. But he's going to do some stuff with Dr. Oz, and he's going to he'll be back in the circuit, and we'll always do this. So if you guys have great questions, if you have any ideas or you want me to do anything, just let me know, because he likes to be present. He likes to give out advice.
That's the great thing about locals as well. And that's kind of what we're doing on that side anyway.
One thing that I would love for you and Dr. Drew to consider is that this has been incredibly, obviously difficult for people who suffer from depression.
Mm-hmm.
And more so for people I can't say more so, but just speaking for myself, parents who are trying to handle their depression while trying to keep a positive family home life.
Yeah.
And keep everything optimistic. It's been a challenge. I'm doing my best. I
know. I get you. I mean, I was really fortunate because I get to live my life. I've decided to make that choice, but a lot of people just don't have that opportunity, and my heart goes out to them, especially people with small kids, and they have to be the teacher and the mom and the housekeeper and the can't go to work. It's hard, or they have to work at home too. It's got to be hard. So, but I appreciate everything you guys have
Gosh, this is still live.
done to help. Yeah,
Still
we're
live.
still live.
Oh, we're still live. I just looked at it right now. Oh my gosh, we're still going.
So don't fart or anything.
Almost too late.
But also thank you, Casey, for helping me on Locals. I'm sorry
no worries.
We'll chit
No
chat,
worries.
but I want everybody to go to Locals and sign up, and we can continue the conversation.
I'm already starting
Susan?
something right now.
Yes, Wendy.
I wasn't masking myself. I'm masking my chin, my neck.
Oh. You know what? I'm with you. It's like instead of getting a neck lift, we just put the mask over it. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, there's this show called Life Changers, and I always meant to write to them, and I just didn't. Yeah.
Oh, too bad that show never made it. But anyway, so everybody on the restream, thanks again, and I'm gonna run the Fox LA promo, and then hopefully everybody can go watch Drew at foxla.com/live. Well,
Sweet.
Okie dokie.
I'm
Have a
gonna
nice
hang up
evening,
the
everybody.
boy.
Okay there. Okay, see you later then. Bye-bye now.
Real talk.
Headlines have become sickening. They become poisonous.
Dissecting headlines. Defying state orders. Sheriff Bianco not enforcing what the governor is saying. Dialed in with decision makers. Clarify what you actually meant. Get the answers you need. At the beginning of this, we were told don't wear a mask. Is this really helping? Expect a different kind of newscast. Fox 11 News Special Report. Weeknights at 7.